Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego and I'm back with some more boxing. I have done a UFC 210 main event, Daniel Cormier Rumble Johnson post-fight video. Have not yet done my Vasyl Lomachenko versus Jason Sosa, but to be honest, it's not much to break down. One-sided demolition job, the Demolition Man, the Matrix, high tech, very one-sided fight, very easy to score fight. Congrats to Vasyl Lomachenko stopping Jason Sosa. Now, to my knowledge, I thought Jason Sosa was the WBA champion, but I don't really recall on the HBO telecast them mentioning that aspect. If this fight was up, if his WBA belt, if he still has it, or if he was up for it, I don't know, because he missed weight, so I don't remember them mentioning that this was a unification in the telecast. So maybe I'm off, or maybe he missing weight or something affected it, or maybe his belt wasn't up for grabs. I don't know. But Vasyl Lomachenko, he looked like Lomachenko. Very superb angles. I'll do a separate video if you guys want. Drop it in the comment section. But you guys seen the title and clicked on the video. Make sure you follow me on social media at BOXINGEGO. I'm everywhere you want to be, like Vasyl. Now, a fighter I really like was at his last fight, Mikey Garcia. This is a verified page. Apparently, he watched the fight and, like Bone Crusher said, I ain't never scared. Posted this picture. Now, some of you youngins may not know, but this is one of my favorite movies. That's a picture of Val Kilmer. It looks like V for Vendetta or something. That's a picture of Val Kilmer, who played Doc Holliday, who was basically a cowboy who was getting sick, but he was a gunslinger. And in the movie Tombstone with Kurt Russell, they were like seizing the town and like restoring order and stuff. And Doc Holliday was a badass. And there's a scene in the movie where it was Michael Biehn from the Terminator. He challenged someone like who wants to have a shoot off with me, or you know what I mean, take 50 paces and spin or something. And Val Kilmer says, say when, I'll be a huckleberry. Like, so they were having a shoot off. Great movie, one of my favorites. And that's what made Mikey Garcia, it's subliminal, but we all know. I mean, if you look at the time, 35 minutes ago, this was right after Lomachenko's performance, in which post-fight he says he's graduated. He said he was young in the pro game, like a third grader. Orlando Salido had more experience. He was an 8th grader or 12th grader, whatever he said. Now I've graduated my university, and he wants to fight Salido. But there was a build-up. There was 2 interviews done with Mikey Garcia and Vasyl Lomachenko with CBS Sports, and they were sending shots at each other to fight at 135. And again, Mikey Garcia put this immediately, look at the timestamps and stuff, immediately after Lomachenko. So clearly, the say when, the Doc Holliday, the Tombstone reference, I'll be a huckleberry. That's to Vasyl Lomachenko. And he clearly keeps it short and sweet. Bring it on. I love that fight. Now, the one hurdle could possibly be Mikey Garcia and his troubled past with former promoter, is that David Robinson? Damn, motherfucker's big. Pause. But as you guys know, Mikey Garcia was with Top Rank, and he sat on the shelf for at least 2 years and couldn't get any fights. He was just trying to stay in shape and stuff like that. Now he's the WBC champion. I was at his last fight. He stretched Dejan Zlatican, who's a 90% knockout artist. He had a 90% knockout ratio roughly, and Mikey Garcia looked great in that fight. So my thought, I love Mikey Garcia versus Vasyl Lomachenko. That's a great fight. And based on what we've seen at Lomachenko, it's going to take another special fighter, a very elite level fighter, to beat him. The Salido fight happened. The second fight, he's advanced. He's further in the Matrix. He found a glitch in the Matrix. So it's going to take another very, very talented fighter. Guys like Jason Sosa, who are gritty and tough, that's not going to cut it. Even though he's a champion, I believe, Jason Sosa didn't have the tools. He couldn't get the timing. Like, there's ways to beat any fighter, and the reason I like this fight is because it's going to take a Mikey Garcia type of fighter. I'm not saying Mikey Garcia 100% wins, because Lomachenko is a beast. And again, if you guys want me to do a post fight, I'll do it. But a lot of people don't really know boxing, and you got to understand certain things. For one, experience plays a huge part in boxing. Lomachenko has dumbass experience. He's had almost 400 amateurs. So he came into the pro game a little bit older than other people. Like, he's about to be 30 probably. You know what I mean? Versus you look at other, like Shakur Stevenson, what is he, probably like 19, 20? Because it's just Lomachenko stayed. You got to look at it. Bottom line is this. The Olympics are every 4 years. Lomachenko has 2 gold medals. So that means he spent at least 8 years getting gold medals. So he stayed in the amateur circuit, getting experience, and stayed for 2 Olympic games, kind of like Clarissa Shields. So people like that, they're more advanced. The Rigondeaux, the Clarissa Shields, they're probably more advanced because they had such a hefty amateur pedigree, right? So experience is one. But this is not an easy fight for Lomachenko, because even though Lomachenko has 2 different gold medals, he would be going in with Mikey Garcia, who I've interviewed in the past. He told me his hardest puncher he's ever fought was Edwin Valero, who is no longer alive, a deceased fighter, very big puncher. I heard Edwin Valero at the time got called into a De La Hoya camp, right? I think he sparred Eric Morales too, but he got called into a De La Hoya camp back then, and I heard De La Hoya kicked him out of camp. You know what I mean? Because he was like, he gave De La Hoya a black eye, and you don't want that for your star fighter, your champion. You know, he's getting touched up and has black eyes before his other fight against whoever De La Hoya was fighting at the time. You know what I'm saying? Mikey Garcia fought him, and again, this is a guy who's been deceased for some years. So he has experience. Not to mention, when Pacquiao was running through guys, Mikey Garcia sparred Pacquiao back then. So he does carry experience. Even as a pro, he fought the Juan Carlos Burgos when his name was more relevant. He fought Rocky Martinez and beat him and stopped him before Lomachenko. He knocked down, didn't stop Orlando Salido, knocked him down 4 times before Lomachenko, right? So even as a pro, Mikey Garcia has a lot of experience. So that's one factor you have to factor in. The other thing is Mikey Garcia is, I've seen both of them. Mikey Garcia is bigger. And they're talking about fighting at 135, which means Lomachenko would move up another 5 pounds. So all that stuff leverages, because Lomachenko, what he does good or great is the sidestepping, the shifting of angles, and just different things like that. But I've yet to see a Mikey Garcia fight where he doesn't throw punches. Like Jason Sosa, he's tough. I like Jason Sosa, but bad game plan, because Lomachenko started getting into a rhythm. You got to punch with a dude like that. I think Jason Sosa, being from Jersey, he should have spent some time in the Danny Garcia gym and working with Danny Garcia, because one thing Danny Garcia does very well, Danny Garcia I'm talking about from Philly, one thing he does very well is he's good with timing. You've seen it was kind of a similar thing in a higher division with Amir Khan and Danny Garcia. Amir Khan was blistering, cutting Danny Garcia's face. He was making Danny Garcia look much slower, but Danny Garcia will punch with you and catch you in the exchange, and that's what happened in the Amir Khan fight. So Sosa, being the guy who has Lomachenko looked pretty big, but just in general, he has more experience at the weight, since Lomachenko maybe has like 2 fights at 130. To me, you got to punch with him. Like, fights that are interesting at 130, the only real one that I can think of right now is Tank Davis, if he gets more experience, just because of his style. 2 southpaws, very, very aggressive and stuff like that. But at 35, obviously Mikey Garcia. Terrence Crawford, people are mentioning that. That's not a good fight for Lomachenko. I think Terrence Crawford's too damn big. You know what I mean? Because Mikey Garcia's even pushing it. But he has the beef with Mikey Garcia, and Mikey said he'll oblige him. So, I mean, you kind of open that can of worms. If you say you could come to 35 and possibly fight him in the future, then that's your bad. But Terrence Crawford, I think, is way too tall and way too much bigger. So I'm not even really looking for that, because you got to be realistic. You know what I mean? And the only reason Lomachenko would be moving up is because his own kind of requests. He's the one that said he will fight Mikey Garcia, right? But he shouldn't move up to 40. I don't think that'd be a good look for him to move up that quick. But you know, money talks. So sometimes people pursue bigger fights and things. But you got to really break this fight down. A lot of people see Lomachenko's angles and like, yeah, he'll demolish Mikey Garcia. I see that being a very tough fight, because again, Mikey's naturally bigger. He has a bigger frame. He clearly, look at this picture. it looks like he put this man in a casket. He looks like Dracula. He's just so stiff, like light as a feather, stiff as a board. Like, you know what I'm saying? He looks like Dracula in a coffin. 1, 2, 3. Like, he clearly has power. This is at 135. And he has a stoppage at 140 since he's returned. So, difficult fight. Mikey Garcia is not a given that he does win. He would have to punch with Lomachenko and find a way to negate them angles. Them Loma angles is beast. Like, he just moves and he's throwing 3 and 4 punches to your 1 punch. So, but Mikey Garcia is a technician. He's a tactical, methodical fighter. So that's what it would take to beat a Lomachenko. Plus, I've seen Mikey Garcia, excuse me, see Mikey Garcia up the ante in terms of the aggression. He did it when he fought a southpaw, which was smart. Deion's Latish, and he never let the puncher get any confidence in that fight. I was there. I was in Las Vegas for that fight. That's what you kind of have to do to Lomachenko, I'm seeing. You let Lomachenko, he's like the road runner or something. You let him get in, you know what I mean, in the zone, it's good luck. See, this is the scene from Tombstone. I'm your Huckleberry. So, I like it. I like Vasyl Lomachenko. He's gung ho. He's down to fight whoever. So, if they can make the fight, make the fight. I would like it. Mikey's calling him out. He just looked good in his last fight. He's still a champion. If not, just keep collecting belts. Jason Sosa, I liked his heart and stuff, but you can't let Lomachenko steamroll you and get into that rhythm. You just absolutely can't, because then he'll take off and then he'll start taking, like guys like Floyd Mayweather and Lomachenko. To me, they'll take your soul. Like, you look at Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo. It's like just embarrassing. They're embarrassing. Like, I like Lomachenko. He's a beast. I put people on. I told you guys about him well before The Matrix and all these other nicknames and HBO started being on his job. I told you about Lomachenko. I like him. I like his temperament. He was doing some matador shit. He was throwing some looping punches to mock Jason Sosa. He was taking a bow and he was doing hella extra shit. So this is fun to him. And that's a dangerous fighter, because they're so confident in their skill. They know you can't touch them. They know you can't beat them. And they'll embarrass you. And that's kind of what Floyd does to fighters. As he moved up and started fighting naturally bigger guys, he kind of crushes your spirit. You know what I mean? Everything you present, he has an answer. Like Ricky Hatton, you want a rough inside fight? I'm not going to give you that. You know what I mean? Canelo, he was just too swift and elusive for Canelo and made Canelo look super slow because of his foot speed lacks. And Floyd has very good defense and very good foot speed. He can fight off the ropes, different stuff like that. I remember one of my favorite moments in Mayweather Canelo was when Canelo threw like a major right hand and he missed. He whiffed bad and he punched the ropes. And Floyd Mayweather just like looked at the ropes as if like to mock him, like, what was you trying to hit? And he's like, oh, okay. And then he just kept fighting. Lomachenko was doing little stuff like that. So I love the showmanship. Mikey Garcia is a beast. Lomachenko's a beast. Let me know who would win in a potential fight at 35. Great performance by The Matrix. Jason Sosa, he can bounce back, but Lomachenko just showed he's too skillful. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.